Shalom. First and foremost, give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the word ignorantly calls God, and his name in Hebrew means he exists. And Yahweh's name is only begotten Son, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and his name in Hebrew means he delivers. Ba'ashem is in the name, Kodash, the Holy Spirit. When they give double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone who well. Peace and blessings unto the Shashak and this push forward to the truth. Throughout the four corners of the earth, I want to say shalom to you, brothers, and keep pushing. And a double shalom unto the Israelites that look like the other nations as the Shashak watch them. I want to say shalom to you, brothers and sisters, as well. I'm the brother Dwyer from GMS 9 St. Louis Camp. And I'll come back at another video. In this video, it's from this brother, GMS Alliance Well, which is the head of my camp. So he did a video, another reason to practice abstinence. And he got in parentheses diseases. And I'm going to pull some precepts and Lord willing, this be edifying. So let's listen.
All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, very great millstone. This is going to be quick. This is just another reason as of why, especially as a man in this time that we're living in now, it's best to practice, if possible, either abstinence, celibacy, or just abstinence or celibacy, because here one of the brothers shared earlier today, in a part of it, he's like, yeah, that's why I hate America or Babylon. It's a TikToker who is, proud to, who's so-called smashing the stigma dealing with, so-called, with HIV. And of course, she's a so-called black woman. She's overweight. And she explains that the reason she contracted that is because she was dealing with this dude. They both went to get tested. They had unprotected sex. And then in the midst of that test, the dude disappeared. And then
And hey, it's always a so-called black woman, too. There's always a so-called black woman. You so-called black woman, specifically from the tribe of Judah, you're always in the forefront promoting wickedness. Okay? Like any type of negative stigma. Okay? We're going to look at that word in a minute. You're at the forefront of it. LGBTQ. All right, because this woman right here is a part of the LGBTQ. She's overweight. She basically fit all the stereotypes, because the so-called black woman, you are the epitome of what a real man don't want his woman to be like, okay? And a lot of these men are waking up like, man, hell no. Like, we don't like women like this. Okay, we're going to get a passport and go over somewhere else. Okay, because we already been trying to tell y'all that, hey, we don't like certain things, but you didn't give a shit. So now you got to suffer the consequences. Okay? So let's look at the word stigma. So stigma.
Stigma.
It says all Christian medicine botany. But yeah, definitions in. But the definition, a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Right? So a shame, disgrace, dishonor, a stain, a blot, a blemish. Okay? And that's pretty much what you so-called black women are. Okay? You are a stain to our nation. Okay? You a stain. It's wicked.
she realized she got it. And you would think that would, humble her down and at least try to warn people, but her whole thing really is, if anything, she just went down further.
And I talk about my HIV status in order to reduce to the day in the life of a baddie living with HIV. If you're new here, my name is Marnina, and I talk about my HIV status in order to reduce HIV stigma.
Let's just get to the point. The point is, she decided to join the LGBTQ community or whatever, and now she's more proud than ever to have a platform Right.
And have sex and try to make myself straight. And that didn't happen. Honestly, it just made me even more gayer once I got my HIV diagnosis. And so now I happily and freely identify as queer. I date women. I'm in a loving partnership with my partner, who is a woman, and we're living our best life.
Okay. We need not to hear anymore.
So she basically admitted that she was sleeping around with multiple different men, trying to make herself straight. In which the Lord plagued your ass because you were a whore. All right, well, she going to go back to men eventually. That's what all these Israelite women that do that dip and dabble into homosexuality, they always get a man. Certain lesbians, even butch studs, as you would think, even some of them be smashing dudes, okay? And you'd think this chick is allergic to men, but nah. A lot of these women just haven't had the correction, just never ran into a real man, okay? So when they meet one, they like, oh shit, I got to get with that. And the feminine so-called black women, they're like, I don't want that. I don't want to come under that. And which you Israelite women are nuts, man. You women are nuts. You just so confused and so crazy and got so many damn demons on you. Don't know what you want. All right, you all over the place. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and pull some precepts and Lord willing this be edifying. So this is 1 Corinthians 7:1, and it reads, Now concerning the things whereof he wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, right? So it's good for a man not to touch a woman. Okay? Because you never know what these women have done. A lot of these women are not even virgins in the first place, because a woman is supposed to be a virgin when she deal with a man. But in this society, that's pretty much impossible. Unless she's like younger. But, we don't condone men to do that. Because, in this society, that's not socially acceptable. We're just telling you, like in the scriptures, like how women were given in marriage at young ages, like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Or however when the father saw fit to give his daughter off in marriage, because that's the scripture also. So verse 2, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband, right? To avoid fornication, to avoid adultery. Because a lot of these women that you think is single, they actually have men, or they dealing with multiple men, all right, which is nasty as hell. Like here it is, she done topped off multiple men, and then she get to you thinking like, yeah, I'm smashing you, I got something great. Nah, man, shit nasty. Really disgusting. So yeah, it's just best just to have one woman or no woman. In which if you do got more than one woman, which is not a sin, okay, you can do that. That's up to that man or what he want. But my personal opinion is best just to just focus on the ministry. Okay? So skipping down to verse 8. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Right? So it's better to marry than to burn. Right? So just burn just means just to lust. Okay, like you want to deal with a woman? Hey, go out there and get you a woman. Pray to Yahweh Shemiyah that you get a woman. And a lot of Israelite men don't know how to pick women. They just any chick that's bad or vice versa. Like you just got a lot of Israelite men just deal with anything. Okay, and it got to be a balance to that. She can't be just butt ugly, and you just deal with her because she just there. You feel like it's just a easy target, but you can't go for the top woman because a lot of them real pretty women got demons on them. Because they constantly getting bombarded with messages and all that. Constantly got all these different options and et cetera, et cetera. Wisdom of Solomon 3:14. And it reads, and blessed is the eunuch which with his hands have wrought no iniquity, nor imagine wicked things against Yahweh. For unto him shall be given a special gift of faith and inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. Right, so a eunuch is a man that he was either wounded from his birth, okay, he unable to have kids, or you got a lot of men that made themselves eunuchs. Like, I ain't gonna even deal with a woman, like Apostle Paul. All right, he didn't deal with a woman. Okay, so his mindset, he was strictly about the kingdom. So Matthew 19:11, and it reads, but he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, right? And there are some eunuchs which are made eunuchs of men, right? So physically, because they wound you in your stones, so you can't have children. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it, right? So you got men that just say, I just give my woman in the kingdom. And like that's pretty much twofold. Because you got the man that wasn't defiled with women, which that goes into these different philosophies. Okay? Like he kept his out single on Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right? Which that's twofold. This truth there. Because a lot of these women are into different philosophies. A lot of these women get you to go off. Okay? And here it is, you might have like a bisexual woman. She deal with men and women. And then she get with a man. And then she get the man to be bisexual or whatever. Try different sexual partners, man and female. I get him to put tattoos on his body or get him to become a damn witch. A lot of these women they practice witchcraft. All right. Okay, and this is the point. There's Revelation 14:4. These are they who's talking about the 144,000. I think I'll read that verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his father's name written in their foreheads, right? It's talking about the elect. Okay. Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. Right, it's talking about the elect. Right, they wasn't defiled with women. All these different philosophies. Okay, because wisdom is known as what? A woman. All right, it's like that pure woman. Okay, they got your best interest in heart. So this is Proverbs 7 and 1, and it reads, my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and as my law as the apple of thy eye. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thy heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. right? So yeah, from the strange woman, okay? Because when you come into this truth, hey, you know the nature of women, all right, which is very, very sneaky. You know, her hearts is what snares and nets. So you're always trying to trap you. A lot of these women, they get a rush off of trapping men and leading men on and all that. So it's just best just not to even deal with women. It says, for at the window of my house, I looked through my casement and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youth a man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, and in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtile of heart, right? To be subtile means to what? Be sneaky, right? Like the serpent, you know, because the Israelite woman and the serpent has the same spirit, you know, real subtile of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait in every corner, right? So a lot of these women, you know, they always out in the street, you know, to be seen in people's faces and doing God knows what. All right. So she called him and kissed him with the impudent face and said unto them, I have peace offered me this day. And this day have I paid my vows. Therefore I came forth to meet thee diligently to seek thy face. And I have found thee, right? And like these women, yeah, thank you for coming into my life. Oh yeah, you were a blessing. Oh my God. I love you so much. All right, we all done heard that bullshit. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry and carved works with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love, for the good man is not at home. He is going a long journey. Right? It's talking about who? Her husband. All right. And yeah, because these women do these things. They're like, yeah, my husband ain't at home. Yeah, you can come through, and all that. It says he have taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. Right? And that's pretty much what you are doing when you commit adultery. You basically signing your name on a death certificate on a dotted line. And verse 23, till a dart straight through his liver, as a bird hastening to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend unto the words of my mouth. Let not thy heart decline to her ways, go not astray to her paths. And it's the point. For she have cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death, right? Hey, and that's these women, man. You know, you pretty much deteriorating while you with them. You know, they wearing you down. You know, you leaving your virtue is leaving you. Okay? And I'm ending off with this. So this is Lamentations 4 and 6. And it reads, for the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Right, so Sodom and Gomorrah, that was a city that was destroyed by fire and brimstone. All right? It got, for real, it got ancient world nuked by the chariots. You know, blew that motherfucker up. Okay? And the same way how this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah is being, is about to be nuked. Okay? But man, hey, people, you don't have no idea what's about to get ready to happen, man. No idea. This is Wisdom of Solomon 3:11. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. So whoso despises wisdom, you're miserable. And you can't tell me that this woman right here is happy.
And tell me this, why does she get a
partner who is a woman, and we're living our best life?
It's all an act. All right. And Esau Edom give him a platform to try to pretend and act, The word actor goes into a hypocrite. But I'm ending it off with that. Call halal halal Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakodash, Shalom, the Bible Ball.